government is holding an international summit on demography in Budapest this week, attended by several regional leaders and delegations from dozens of countries in an attempt to trumpet their investment into family policies. The country's nativist Prime Minister Viktor Orban said it was conceivable that Hungary, with a population of just under 10,000 that is shrinking due to low birth rates and immigration, could disappear. Orban, who has based his political campaigns in recent years on anti-refugee and anti-migration sentiment, said other European politicians saw immigration as a solution. But he firmly rejected this, tapping into the far-right Great Replacement theory. If Europe is not going to be populated by Europeans in the future, and we take that as a given, then we are speaking about an exchange of populations to replace the population of Europeans with others. There are political forces in Europe who want a replacement of population for ideological or other reasons. Orban's words were backed up by one of the guests of honour at the summit, the former Australian PM Tony Abbott, who saluted the Hungarian leader for having the political courage to defy political correctness. Abbott said dying populations, not climate change, were the biggest threat to Western civilization, and lashed out at Harry Hewitt and Meghan Markle for recent remarks that they would not have more than 2 children due to their effects on the environment. Having fewer children in Western countries will hardly make the climate better when so many children are being born elsewhere. And it's exactly correct to suggest that. But The Guardian seem to have a knack for pretending that they haven't actually touched on similar subjects before in the past, when they then go on to talk about it in the current day. For example, this is an article from The Guardian. Want to fight climate change? Have fewer children. And then, when the fake refugee crisis, the deliberate refugee crisis began, refugee influx helps halt decline in Germany's population. There's multiple comparisons that you could throw up for yourselves on the internet if you could be bothered. A few others that I've got. Serious about stopping climate change, have one less child. UBC study says, without immigration, Canada's growth could close to zero in 20 years if low fertility rates persists. The UN, all the way back in the year 2000, unveiled a report called Replacement Migration. New report on replacement migration issued by the UN's Population Division. The projections indicate that between 1995 and 2050, the population of Japan and virtually all countries of Europe will most likely decline. In a number of cases, including Estonia, Bulgaria, Italy, countries would lose between 1/4 and 1/3 of their populace. The population ageing will be pervasive, bringing the median age of populace to historical, unprecedented high levels. For instance, in Italy, the median age will rise from 41 to 53. The potential support ratio, the number of persons working per person, will often be halved. Focusing on these two striking and critical trends, the report examines in detail the case of 8 low fertility countries, like France, Germany, Italy, Japan, Russia, so on and so forth, UK and US, and 2 regions, Europe and the European Union. In each case, the alternative scenarios are considered, highlighting the impact that various levels of immigration would have on population size and population aging. Not a damn fucking thing mentioned about altering the birth rates back then either. Starting to notice a pattern here. Population decline is inevitable in the absence of replacement migration. Fertility may rebound in the coming decades, but few believe that it will recover sufficiently in most countries to reach replacement level. In 2012, Peter Sutherland, the man responsible for creating, which is now the Migrant Compact, the making human rights, the UN Migration Compact, making migration a human right, told the committee that the United States, Australia and New Zealand are migrant societies, and therefore they accommodate more readily to those from other backgrounds than we do ourselves. We still nurse a sense of our homogeneity and difference from others, and that's precisely what the European Union, in my view, should be doing its best to undermine. Really, a conspiracy theory when it's right in your fucking face as to how long they've had this information for, how long they've had to rectify these issues, what the man responsible for the Migrant Compact was saying not that long ago, in fact. And then, of course, the so-called climate emergency, the non-existent climate emergency, which paves the way now for mass immigration from Africa, which just coincidentally is going to see a double in their population by 2050. So there's going to be too many people on the African continent and not enough apparently here. Well, it's a win-win, is it not?